Well, on Friday, President Trump was permanently suspended from Twitter. Now, conservative social media site Parler is getting the boot from app stores. Hundreds of you are currently talking about this story online, and we're live tracking your reaction to it this morning. Meanwhile, Parler was first removed from Google's App Store on Friday over posts that incite ongoing violence in the U.S. Apple made the same move Saturday, giving Parler a warning and a 24-hour notice to fix things. CNBC and the New York Times report that some posts on social media site violate Apple's rules against violent and criminal content. And Amazon even suspended Parler from its web hosting service over the weekend. Parler CEO John Matz confirmed the news and said that the site could be unavailable while they rebuild from scratch. It all follows Wednesday's violent riot at the U.S. Capitol as social media companies work to crack down on hate speech. 5 people died, including a Capitol police officer. Parler launched back in 2018 and became a popular alternative to Twitter for conservative voices and politicians and President Trump's supporters. Trump's lawyer and advisor, Rudy Giuliani, even tweeted about it yet on Friday, asking what happened to Parler. Hundreds of people, as I mentioned, have been talking about the story on our KARE 11 Facebook page. Some people are angry that the site was taken down. Others commenting that it was the right move to try and stop future violence. If you'd like to read more about Parler or this story, you can head to KARE11.com. But yeah, I'm surprised it actually took this long for big social media companies to stop this hate speech and misinformation.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't know about Parler until the last few days,
Right.
and now it's getting a big boost in, I don't know about popularity, but at least, people are knowing about it.
Chatting about it, for sure.
Exactly.